Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Legends from the Past and Future Legends Show. Tonight we got a power-packed historian trailblazer tonight, Roger. What do you think?
Oh yeah, Miss Carter is number one. It's a crying shame that so many of us, to include myself until recently, didn't know about all the things that she's done. And that's one of the reasons why we have this show, to put information out there so you individuals will know about the glorified individuals that live in our community and the things they have done to make our community great.
Absolutely. She was recommended by Argo Duanis, and last week, if you remember, she really was given some major props by Senator Shanika Henson as a mentor.
Right.
Not only that, Roger, we got a big event coming up next Saturday at the Mount Olive Life Center. Are you ready for that?
I was born ready. I'm straight. I just hadn't made up my mind whether I was going to go there all flyed up or just. But since the dress is casual, then I guess I could go casual.
Yeah.
I figured something out. Yeah.
It's business casual.
Yeah, well, business casual could be a lot for me. Full-blown suit out that camp, but
man.
Yeah, well, I understand. We don't want nobody in no jeans, we don't want nobody in no Timberlands, all that type crap. So let's just come out there. If you don't know what business casual is, look it up.
Google it. That's right. Google it. Yeah. What's up, Lenny Knight? Welcome to the show tonight, bruh. Roger, we're gonna have the band that Lenny plays in Shine Band. They're gonna be performing that night.
Lenny gonna be there performing.
He's gonna be there performing. Not only that, he's gonna be there with his crew, interviewing and just having a nice time that night, man. As well as the Double S Queens, they're gonna be our caterers, and we're gonna have a hot DJ there. So we're gonna be all the way live. We're gonna have another live performance. You have to show up to find out.
Yeah, as long as everybody. Yeah, it's gonna be great to have the Night Brothers there. And, the Night Brothers gonna be there, people. So go there and get your interview and everything. They're gonna be taking pictures with you for free. You ain't even got to pay for it.
Welcome to the show, Argo. Thanks for supporting us tonight. But let's not hold her up any further, right? Let's bring our power pack guest to the stage. Are you ready for it?
Yes, sir.
Let's bring her out, man. Welcome to the stage, Queen Cynthia Carter. How you doing tonight?
Thank you. I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
Welcome to the Legends.
Thanks for asking.
Welcome to the Legends Show, man.
I had to move to another area. My husband gets a little busy. He's walking around now, so he'll keep popping in like this. I moved to another area.
It's not a problem at all. Tonight is your night.
Right.
And the way that we start things off, we're going to go back into a time. Could you just tell us where you were born and raised?
Actually, I was born, as you know, during the 30s and the 40s. They had babies in Washington and Baltimore. So I was born in Washington, but I was raised here in Annapolis. That's where we were living, in College Creek Terrace. Number 42, College Creek Terrace. That's where I grew up my first 10 years.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
My family my dad got the first key to the first apartment there in College Creek Terrace back in 1940. And we were the first family. So the city named one of the streets going in there to College Creek Terrace, the Abney Lane.
Wow.
Dedicated to my family. Yeah.
Okay. Now where did you go to school at? Well,
Annapolis. I went to let me get this. I graduated from Bates. Okay. And I did my junior high and high school there at Bates, and attended Stanton up until the 5th grade. That's when we moved to Texas, but we came back here in the 6th grade. Yeah, 7th grade rather. Okay. Yeah, 7th grade there.
Now, did you go to college?
No, actually, I attended Sojourner Douglas for a couple of years, and I went to Anne Arundel Community College. Not a lot of college education. Mine was kind of hands-on. Yeah. But yeah, that's where I went. I got a few credits, but I never graduated. Yeah.
Awesome.
We couldn't afford that.
So right after high school, you started working at Crownsville. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what happened. I did my first year or so there at Crownsville before I moved to New York. And actually, I went up there because my mom was one of the first nurses up there back in the early 50s, 52. And then my brother graduated from high school in 56. He went up there and worked. And then when I graduated, I went up there. It was kind of like a tradition. If you didn't have a car where you can go to Fort Meade or some of the other places, you just had to get to Crownsville, pay the best at that during that time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a very historical place.
Oh, yeah.
So before I pass it over to Roger, what can you tell us about Crownsville State Hospital?
It's really a shock to most people, shock to the system when it first worked up there. And we used to have and hear all the stories, especially from my mom and my brother. So when I went up there, it wasn't that bad to me because I kind of expected certain things. But it was, I had nothing to compare it to. But all I know, that was a last stop for anybody. When you went there, it was horrible. And we try to make it as pleasant as possible when they opened it up and started hiring Black nurses and nurses' aides. And I was a nurse's aide. My mother was she got her PN, it was a good practical nurse license up there. She and a few others back in the early 50s. But I started there in 57 when I graduated from high school. And it was horrific, some of the stuff I saw and what we had to do, to maintain. But it was a rough road, how some of those babies were taken care of up there, especially the down babies. Yeah. I never seen a down baby before, and when I saw them in there looking like little pigs on grass on floor with straw and stuff, and they're all thrown in like little animals. Yeah. I don't know. It was bad. It was pretty bad. The shock treatments they gave people, and we had to assist with that. And Thorazine, they had put them under, and they were like nothing but little vegetables laying on the floor, not doing nothing but. Seclusion and stuff. And, it was bad. It was pretty rough.
Yeah, I can imagine. I think you worked there with my mother, Ethel.
Yeah, she came in after me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Ethel was up there for a long time. She and Argo and all of them.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to pass you over to Roger. On you, Raj.
How you doing, Ms. Carter?
Roger, I'm doing good, baby. How are you?
All right. It's good to have you on the show. I'm one of those College Creek people as well. Yeah. I came after you. Yeah. College Creek Terrace. All right. Then we left from there and we moved to Annapolis Garden. And that's where I became close friends with your nephew.
Yeah. That's what they did. That. Yeah. Is that too much light on me?
No, it's good.
Because I can turn off some of that light overhead. Is that better? I think that's a little better now because I look glary at myself. All right.
Oh, yeah, you look good. Kevin and Reed and Carlos and T and all of them.
Yeah.
Because Kevin played football with Armin. They played football together in high school.
Who is that?
Armin and Kevin played football together.
Yeah. Absolutely. Dwayne and Armin and all of them. Right. Reed.
So, I was looking at your bio. It's like a book. With all the stuff that you did, I'm just a little bit sad. We just now finding out about this. We should have heard about this a long time ago. So I noticed you was done. Somebody told me. I think it was Dwayne told me you could do sign language.
Yeah.
At one point. Yeah, and so what drove to the sign language? I saw where you were helping the handicapped individuals. You was on the board for quite some time. Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Back in the early days when I first started working with the Evening Capital, the newspaper, I started meeting people who were deaf and hearing impaired. And I went on, I stayed in there in that typesetting with them and Washington Star, Baltimore Sun. And there were more and more. That seemed to be a trade that they gravitated to. So I learned a little sign language there. But about 79 and 80, I went up to community college when I was in my 60s. That's when I started college. And I took a sign language class, and I learned about them and learned how, they make it through the system being deaf and not being able to communicate. And that's what brought on the thought of me having a relay service. And I talked to my professor there, who was Dr. Lou Amar. He and his wife both were fluent in sign language. And he told me the history on that's how I learned through him. And I opened up a little relay service. I started from my home first. And I learned that I needed this piece of equipment, which I purchased, and to use it. So I said, well, how do I get this out? So with a lot of, research and talking to Dr. Amar, I learned what I had to do. And then the county picked up on it and put me in one of their offices there on Franklin Street, a little back storeroom they had, and set me up, and they paid for my phone service and all. So that was good. And I was able to communicate all over the United States, in some places in Africa and Europe. People were actually trying to communicate with family. There were folks who were trying to call for a taxi cab, order a pizza, doctor's appointment. And so they were able to do it through, we called at the time, link relay message service. And that's how we got started in the early 80s until the state took it over in the 90s. The governor, I sat on that board and helping develop the relay service for the state of Maryland. We were actually, myself, besides another relay service in Washington, D.C., which was normal because of Gallaudet. And that's where they have the school for the deaf there. And but besides the service that I was providing, it was only one in the state of Maryland and about one of 10 in the whole country, if it was that many. But they started evolving more and more and more. And they were making more demands to have it through the state legislation. And a lot of them, now everybody's, it's national now. And it was a funny thing, and I'm gonna give you a little story on that. When the state took it over, and I was really happy about it, excited. I said, wow, now I can get a job, because everything I was doing was volunteer. And I applied for a job as a supervisor. I break up it like, I know enough, I can be a supervisor. No, didn't choose that. I said, well, maybe I can just get a job and just be in the relay service, work somewhere in the area. Nope, didn't hire for that. Do you know I put in the 4 applications, had about 4 interviews, and I didn't get hired to be a floor sweeper. They didn't want none of us in there. So I didn't get a job. And now it's national. It's all over the world now. Everybody does. But I was quite involved with them. I had a little club of deaf and hearing people coming together. We used to go out to movies. We go to restaurants and we'd sit there and talk and sign, because they were reluctant to do so because people wasn't accepting them. Kind of like we had experienced being racial, going into restaurants, people look at you kind of strange. What are you doing here? And I can't help you, So anyway, we made it, got them to be a little bit open. We go bowling. We did a lot of things. So it was nice. It was a great experience for me. We did it for about 6 years.
Wow, that's a lot. And I can't believe, times was different then. Maybe I could. Oh, yeah. I didn't experience any racial tension or, why are you sitting in here or whatever, until I joined the military and went to Augusta, Georgia in 79.
Well, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
And that was my first time, when we don't serve your kind here. Yeah. I really didn't know what the lady was talking about. I thought she was talking because we were soldiers. That's what I thought, but, eventually I found I didn't know, because I didn't experience that, in Annapolis. Because when
we had our own.
Right. Everybody went to school. And when I got Annapolis High School in Bates, actually, everybody played with everybody. It wasn't no this side white, this side black. Yeah. And then when I go down south, it was still that way. I also learned down south when I was in Alabama. I was going to this town, and the guy said, well, make sure you're gone before the sun go down.
All right now.
And I said, well, why is that? He said, that's a sundown town.
That's it. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, everything, this me being ignorant. I said, well, everything closed at sundown?
Well, what did you say? Say it again in here.
I said, did everything close at sundown? So you got to be out to town. I don't know. Yeah. He said, no. He said, if you dark, this white guy was telling me, he was in the army. He said, you won't be caught there because you're not gonna make it out. I said, well, dang, I don't need to go there then, you know, so because they had the big mall that everybody was going to. So I didn't go there. I just drove the long one and went to Birmingham.
Yeah.
But you know, we were sheltered living up here. And then when you get down there, so
Mason-Dixon line, yeah, we had a little better here. Yeah.
Yes,
we had our own. We had pretty much just what we're fighting for now. You know, we lost it all.
Obviously. Obviously, you know. I also saw that you was on the Anne Arundel County Minority Business Enterprise Program and active member of the Holy Temple Cathedral in Annapolis. Talk about that a little bit.
44 years I've been there. Started a little old church on Kirby Lane, Dorsey Avenue. I went out there and got saved and been stepping ever since. I got good teachings there, learned how to communicate, build a relationship with the Lord. Me and Jesus been doing it for a number of years. And believe me, one of my little girls, I had the sponsor from the Naval Academy. I sponsored some girls from there. Some of them are doing really great. But she's calling me because she found a new type of religion. And she was trying to bring it to my attention. I didn't understand what she was saying. And she went to Holy Temple when she was here. And when she told me something, I had to cut her off. I said, listen, honey, I'm not going back. I know. I've experienced. I have not only been saved, but I have been, I have had experience that a lot of people have not had yet.
Yes, ma'am.
That was from, and I know him too well, and I know the answers. I've seen miracles that people call miracles, many, many. And I said, whoa, no, you got to look at what you're doing. She said, well, ma'am, you got to look at, no, I don't have to look at nothing. I'm good. I'm convinced. I'm here. After all these years, it's 80-some years, and I just can't see anything different. Because see, this thing is what happened to me when I was younger, before I accepted Christ. I didn't even realize what was going on.
Right.
And when I did accept Christ, I was in my 40s. And I said, Lord, I didn't know this is what it was all about. But I thank God that he was merciful enough to keep me here, keep me in my right mind, to be able to do and accomplish the things that I have done and help those along the way that needed my help. That's where it is. It's still marching. I got my little shirt on about the Women's History Month. Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am.
It didn't come up right. It didn't come up right. Okay, but this was a march we did in Annapolis for Women's History Month. And yeah, we just keep on marching because God's got something for us right now. Yes, you know, we're concerned about what's going on politically. God's got this.
Yes.
Particularly if you read and you understand what's going on. Sometimes things look a little bleak and a little cloudy and a little, oh my God, what's going on? Hey, it would never happen if God didn't want it to be so. So we just sit back, get your popcorn, and watch to see what happens. Because God got a surprise for us. I know I have seen some things, and nobody's going to believe I'd say my spiritual context. Yeah, I saw some things, and I just smile at it. But it's good. It's all good. We're not just about the pandemic. No. God said no.
Yes.
I didn't believe that, and still don't believe it. It's all a setup. The okie doke. Don't fall for it. Right. People tell me I was a little loose by it. My grandson had a heart transplant. Neither did he or my daughter, none of us. My sons, all of them. We all got the same connection. No, we're not going to fall for the okie doke.
Right.
Nowhere in the world this could happen with no. Mm-mm. And we all fine.
Yes.
Yeah, we all great. Good.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. So I'm gonna turn you back over to Army.
Okay. All right, Army.
So
call you Army?
You can call me whatever you want to, Queen. Yeah, this is your night. Hey, you know, before we get into the history that you made, you really stood out to where a lot of people want to be like you and follow you. And there's two people that come to mind. One of them name is Argo Duenas. You know, she
girl.
Yeah, she thinks of you as her shiro.
Yeah.
You know, and another one is Senator Shanika Henson.
Shanika Henson, yeah.
Yes.
I remember her as a baby. Yes.
That's what she said. You know, you are really a trailblazer. Now you are in 1997. You was the first African American woman to be elected to the Annapolis City Council in the state of Maryland.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Well, here's another one of those things. Spiritually, I decided after the primary, I didn't like what was going on, especially in our community in the 6th Ward over there at Harbor House in that area. And I threw my name in. I told my husband one day, I said, why don't you run for alderman? You can do it because everybody like you. Everybody know you. He said, no. I said, well, something got to be done. So he gave me $60 or whatever it would have cost to file my name as a write-in candidate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I knew nothing about none of that stuff. But because I had formed a printer, I knew how to print things up, and I printed all my own literature and stuff. And my grandchildren and some of my sons and my husband, we went around and did a little campaigning, and a couple of the people down in my community asked me to come and speak. Now, this was the irony of it. This is when you know God has got this thing.
Yes.
These were the Republicans that invited me down to speak to their little group. And I did the best I could, where I was coming from. And I didn't know if they could understand where I was coming from, because I was, these people had houses and condos and lots of monies and businesses. We were poor folk. So anyway, they just looked at me and they smiled and they gave me a few dollars. I said, oh, this is nice. These are Republicans.
Yeah.
Come to find out, the person that I was running against was a Republican, but he didn't want to do what they wanted them to do. Uh-huh. He had another idea for them and they didn't want it. And they asked me if I would do it. I said, sure, why not? It wasn't in my backyard. So I did it. They didn't want the fence up. They wanted to keep it open. No, they wanted a fence, and this guy was trying to keep it open. I said, y'all put the fence up. That's your fence. I won. It was a landslide. And as a write-in candidate, and it was a Republicans that pushed me over, and I was a Democrat.
Wow!
Again, look at God.
Look at God.
And my little saying is, "But God, look at that." I won in a Republican district as a Democrat, as a write-in candidate in the general election. So it was amazing. And I just laughed. I said, "Look at God." I had no idea what I was doing except to try to make real and things happen for us as a people who have been ignored, who have been slighted, and from that it's been motivating, been moving ever since. So that's all it was. I had no idea I was going to do it. I said, but if I'm not going to do it, if it's not for me to do, I won't do it. But God made it happen.
Yes, He did. Yes, He did. And look, because of that, because of your achievement and accomplishments, look how it opened the door for others to walk through.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's you have been an inspiration. Now talk a little bit about the Evening Capital. What is it that you had? What connection did you have with the Evening Capital?
Well, back in 1958. Let's see now. My aunt Versia Kimbrough and Alfreda Brown went to work at the Capitol when they left they wanted to hire some black folk. Well, during that time, it was hot metal. There was no computers. And we used to teletype on the teletype machine, and you had to type. They were typists, but I wasn't a real typist, but I knew how to type a little bit. And when I went to New York and I came back, which was about 1960, 59 or 60. I went up there and they hired me as a typesetter, teletypesetter they call it. And I have even one of my pay stubs from them when I got paid. I kept a lot of stuff, some old memorabilia. But yeah, there was a union job, but I was an apprentice and you had to be there 4 years before you become a union and get union scale. Once you become in the union, you get a card and you can travel anywhere in the United States in any union shop and put your card and go to work without a question. This is just the way they work. It was really a good job, a good position. But when time for me to get my union card, the very man who I had befriended, who was the supervisor, told me no, I couldn't have it. I said, well, why not? He said, because we have our quota. There didn't more blacks in there. Wow. I said, what? How did this happen? I said, Hey, I thought you was my buddy. I thought you was my friend. Didn't know, because I used to go to the airport, pick up his daughter, go pick up his house, his wife from the hospital. I used to do things with them. And I thought we'd develop a relationship. Nope, I was still black. Anyway, I pulled out of there and I went to, let me see, where did I go first? I think Baltimore, to the Baltimore Sun. And I worked there for a little while. And they told me they had to let me go for something. As I went over to Washington Star. That's before they closed down. You know, they closed down in 78, I think, 78, 79. And I went over there, and that's where I stayed and got my union card. And there I became chairman of the union in that particular, they took me into that one.
That was between 1959 and 62?
Yes.
So that experience that you had now, how do you think that shaped and made you who you became today?
I don't know. But I left the Capitol and I went to New York after that. That's where I stayed for a number of years. Then when I came back, I went back to the Evening Capitol to finish up my time there to get my union card. And from there out when I went to the Washington Star. I'm sorry, I was a little backwards on my time.
That's okay.
But yeah, I left there and came back. And anyway, it did. I got a lot of experience because I went to work down on Wall Street. I worked on Flexerator machine. I did new because I had experience teletyping. I could operate some of the machines that they had down there on Wall Street. So I worked there for a little while, and married, had my children there, but I could not stay in New York. I had to come home, and I've been home ever since. Yeah, New York was not a place for me. I'm a small town girl.
Yeah.
But it gave me a lot of insight on things. I grew up. I learned. I was able to perform in some areas where I would not have done had I stayed in Annapolis, not had the New York experience. So that little New York experience helped me to be a better, or have a broader view in life. And I was able to move on. And I came back here in 68. I came back to Annapolis in 68. My baby girl, who's not with me anymore, she was a year old then. And I've been here. I've been home ever since. But yeah, it gave me some insight. My mom didn't want us to stay stagnant.
Yes.
She said, you got to see other things, other people, other experiences. And she just packed us all up and took us to New York. I mean, it was like, well, where are we going? Okay, Mom, that was good. And I was like 18 years. As a matter of fact, I was pregnant with Dwayne at the time. I was pregnant with my son. Yes. Okay. And we went up there and we lived with some family members I never knew about because my mother grew up in New York for early years. And came home and then went back. I wasn't satisfied, so I went on back up there for whatever reason. And it was an experience. But I got a lot out of that. But I could never live in New York.
Well, we're glad you came back.
Me too. Me too.
On you, Roger.
Yeah, we needed you back. I know about those TT4s, those teletypes.
Teletype machines. Yeah.
Those TT4, those 358s.
Yeah. And I could read those tapes just like I was reading the newspaper. Those little dots.
Right.
I got perfected in there. I became a compositor. I mean, when they brought those computers in there, I learned how to mock up and write up things for the computers. And they couldn't shut the doors on me. I work at night when the guys would let me know what was going on, and I learned from them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I saw that you was a member of the caucus of Afro-American leaders and Anne Arundel County branch of the NAACP. Let's talk about something. Let's talk about that.
I love it. Carl's done an awesome job. I've been with him since the beginning. It's been quite a few years now, and I think it's been more than 10 years. But anyway, we've been at it, attack, and made a difference in a lot of lives, a lot of communities. Some things, some disparities that was happening around town. We were able to correct them, not so much here, but all over the state. Believe me, we've been Eastern Shore, down the country, but mainly in Maryland. We actually have a Monday morning session every Monday morning to review old things, to know what's going on around town. We've invited so many people. We get a nice little crowd on, and they have a Zoom, and they express problems that they might be having. If it's something that we think we can attend and make a difference, then we do so. But yeah, there and WCP, I was with them, not as active as I was with Caucus. Now I'm with NAN. You know what that is, right?
No, ma'am.
Reverend Sharpton, Al Sharpton. We're putting together that program here in Anne Arundel County. We are getting the members. We need 40 members to become a charter, because something coming down the pike. And all of us got to get together on this thing. But yes, Reverend Sharpton's NAN, National, oh gosh, I can't even think of the name. But anyway, it's called NAN under Reverend Sharpton.
Oh, okay. Well, you always busy. You always moving.
Got to keep the old head going, because that stuff, that juice won't flow if you don't pump it up.
Yeah, I know.
Got to keep it going. For real.
Miss Carter, you something else. You are something else. My sister Alicia, she's gone too. But she was real good friends with your daughter. She had a lot of pictures of her in her house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and Alicia left before she did. But that's good. Our families always seem to have been intertwined. But
yes, we have.
met you later, through Dwayne. Now you was pointing at some pictures. Is it all right if that picture you was talking about, could you take it off the wall? Would that be too much trouble, and put it on the computer so everybody could see?
Which one you want? The one with all the ladies on it, or the one with me?
The one with all the ladies on it, because you got a million pictures up there. But
okay, and I also have the one with Angela Davis and me.
Oh yeah, grab those too.
Okay.
What happened for my birthday this last year? One of the girls did superimpose a picture with me and Angela Davis, because I had been mistaken for Angela a couple of times, to the point where I was scared to go out by myself, especially when they were looking for her. And I don't know if you can see this.
Oh yeah, we see it.
See it?
Oh, I see the similarities too.
Yeah, there was quite a similarity with her.
Right.
But I used to wear my hair. I wore the glasses like she did, and we did. We had the gap in the teeth and all the similar. I had people run up to me wanting my autograph, and when you talk about autographs, that's why I laugh. I had to fight the folk. I said, "I'm not her. Who do you think I am?" I said, "That's not me. That's not me." So, wait a minute. Try to put some light. Come on, wait a minute. Oh, I turned it off from here. Wait a minute.
There you go. Put Dwayne to work.
Dwayne downstairs. He working.
There we go.
Let's see. Am I getting there? I'm too close.
We see it.
Can you see it now? Okay, yeah, that's the ladies there. Yeah.
Now, who are all the women in that picture?
We have Betty Sabaz, Coretta Scott King, Daisy Lee Bates, Dr. C. Dolores Tucker, who is Cynthia Dolores Tucker, and Rosa Parks.
Wow.
Yeah, that's them there.
No, that is awesome.
Yeah, we have
that's got to be the top 5 right there.
That's them. That's who they are. Yeah, I had and can you get that?
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah, that's after he lost all that weight big time.
Oh my God, yeah. But he's still a vegetarian. He's doing really good. He's maintaining that weight.
Yeah, he lost that weight quick.
He did.
Yeah, but
I think he sewed his stomach up. Ain't nowhere in the world he gonna come down that fast. And that much, yeah. But he changed his whole lifestyle. He said he wanted to be around for a while.
He came down extremely quick.
He did.
But that's good. Lenny Knight said that's an amazing list that you just posted. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn you back over to Arm.
Okay.
So you were blessed to meet so many power packed women.
Yeah.
how did it feel? And did you you received quite a bit from them, correct?
Yeah, well, kind of.
Okay.
I used to get excited when I was able and be in the company. Now, what happened? The one person I really wanted to meet and touch was Barack Obama.
Okay.
Now, back in 2008, we opened up a campaign office out there on I guess it's Circle and Spa Road, that old rug building, if you remember that rug place, which now is a theater. And we opened that office up. The guy gave it to us, and we got some monies and had it going. And we had made number 1 and number 2 in the nation with volunteers and phone banking. The number 1 was the volunteers. We had over 1,200 volunteers come through there in 3 months. We had number 2 phone banking in the nation, not in Maryland, the nation. With all of that, I still have the pictures, I have the names, I have everything that was included. And I had tried many times just to see him in person. I just wanted to shake his hand, get a stamp of a seal on the certificates that we made for the volunteers that came through there, but could never reach him. I went to his camp. I went to the convention down in Colorado. My husband and I flew down there.
Okay.
And I couldn't get near him. And to this day, I still have never gotten near him. I said, one thing I wanted to do was to get near Barack Obama, and I could not get close to him. Wow. So that one was gone. Yeah, that was my real dream. But I had pictures and everything. I had the cardboard statues, posters, statues of him, and people used to come in and take pictures, and it looked like him standing there, So we really made a big deal of it. In 2008, we did it. From August, from the convention in August till the November election. We had got over 1,200 volunteers to come through that office, and some of them stayed. Some would just pop up for a little while.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You are truly legendary. You know that, right?
I just did my bit. I did what I could, Armin. Just something to do. It was in my spirit to do it, and I just did it.
Well, you know what? Argo said that you walked into your calling and purpose. It was divine order and divine timing. You were chosen.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way?
I do. Without him, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it, but I used to be an introvert. I couldn't talk to or around anybody of any authority.
I don't believe that.
But one day, all of a sudden, I just stood before the Senate. I made a request and a proposal. I said, wait a minute, Cynthia, what are you doing? I was shocked myself. I stood there and I spoke to them. And I had no fear. So I don't have that fear anymore.
Wow.
But I could not speak. My pastor, I couldn't even talk to him. I would just cringe. I just couldn't. It's something, I don't know what that was. But I grew out of it in my later years. Yeah. You
are truly something now. Talk a little bit about the air cargo. Was it air cargo PU /
pick up and delivery? Yeah, that was the place. We traveled. We traveled because when you work there and you work so many hours, and we would have pick up and delivery of small packages. That's what they were designed to do. But you had to put so many hours in to get the benefits. And I wanted to travel, so I put the hours in, which was right down the street from where I was living off of Van Buren and Colony Drive. And they were right there on Bay Ridge Avenue. But anyway, I worked there, and my husband and I used to travel. The biggest one we had when we went to Hawaii, $46. We went to Hawaii. All I had to do was pay taxes. It was great. And then we traveled. We made about 5 or 6 stops in California and all over the place, And I mapped up my own travel. I did my own itinerary because I knew how to do it. So, yeah. But I enjoyed working there. I worked there from, I think, 82 to 87, something like that. I did about 4 or 5 years there.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you another question, then pass you over to Roger, okay?
Okay.
Okay, now talk a little bit about the Community Action Agency.
I went in there once they moved me out of the county building. The Community Action Agency, Evola Peterson gave me a spot in Community Action Agency for the Link Relay Service for the deaf and the hearing impaired. And I worked there for doing that relay service. And when the state took it over in 1990, 91, they hired me to do an outreach to College of Finney, a cancer screening outreach for women of color that were over at a certain age. I think it's mostly seniors, because there was so much breast cancer deaths in our community, especially in Anne Arundel County. Why the death rate was so high there with breast cancer, they hadn't figured out, but I did. Yeah, I figured out them crabs eating it on the newspaper. Now the connection was the newspaper. They closed down the Evening Capital. I'm gonna get back to that, but on West Street, and that where they have houses now, it was contaminated for over 10 years. Nobody could build on it, walk on it, anything, because of the ink that they used for the press to make those papers. That ink was contaminated, had contaminated the soil, and the people. We were learned to do it. We wrapped our fish up in the newspaper. We ate crabs on newspapers, and that ink, I think, contribute to the cancer that we had. And I brought it up in one of the meetings in D.C. I said, now, if we look at the way that we lived, the way that we did certain things, our culture, think about it. And so I started telling all my friends, every one of them girls, they ate crabs all year. They had a group of them. I said, y'all don't use that newspaper. Use regular paper, or just use plastic bags, anything, or brown paper. And they did. Every one of them died of breast cancer. Every one of them. Wow. And I couldn't convince them anything. My aunt, my cousins, all of them. So I felt really bad. And my mom always said, a word to the wise is sufficient. And obviously they didn't bite. They didn't think it was necessary. But I was nobody. I didn't have no doctor degree or anything else. But the Spirit told me, and I stopped doing it myself. Wow. But yeah, I'll get back to what was it you was asking about, the Community Action Agency? After I did the outreach, they gave me like 4 months to reach 250 women with a certain amount of money. I was working with, and I hired a girl to work with me. And we went in and out all in the county. We went all up in the woods and places where people are living in shanties. And in less than 3 months, we had gotten over 250 women. They got free cancer screening tests and mammograms. And that was our whole object. So we were successful with that. Then we had the outreach. They hired me to do outreach for weatherization. And I did that for a while, for about 2 or 3 years. So off and on, I worked in Community Action Agency doing things to, it usually was outreach, because I had the outreach skill from, I guess, with the Link Relay Service. So when I became, decided to run politically, which was in 97, I knew how outreach was, and I knew the people to get out to reach. So one thing led to another. It just prepared me for different things. My life involvements, it prepared me for certain areas in my life that I experienced. So and it turned out okay.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Back to you, Raj.
With all the things that you did, Ms. Carter, and it's amazing that you found time to do so much, but somehow you ended up, at the Housing Authority. Elaborate a little bit about that.
Yeah. Oh boy, yeah. I was on the board at the Housing Authority, as I was on the board at Community Action Agency as well. Again, there was a lot of flaws in housing, and the way that they were divvying out the apartments and to the people who needed it. I tried to educate the folks who were coming in or trying to come in, and then make it comparable for the office to respond to the right people for these places. They were bringing people from Baltimore up in the counties, Prince George's County, and they were putting them in the house. I said, how are you guys doing it? You can't do that. We have guidelines, and criteria there. They have to fit in certain categories. They have to have this. But they were doing it. Well, this is part of the politics of communities. And I can't say too much about it, but the people who could have made the difference and was going to stop it didn't. They were moved out and changes were made internally, and it gets into, and I don't have to be careful, but I just don't use names.
Yes, ma'am.
But people came in, they placed in there to do certain things, and they didn't do it right. They weren't right. They followed whatever those who were in control told them to do. That's what it was. There was no guidelines. It was nothing. So toward the end, I had with the housing authority, I got very nasty after a meeting. I got just integrity just was not there. One of the girls said, integrity is what's going to carry this thing, and it's not here at all. I got up and I just laid them out. I said, this is it. And I told them what they could do and take the rest of the stuff and you shove it. I'm done. Because it's stressing me. Now, I was in my 70s. I was too old to go through all of that. I'm here to help. Make a difference. Not to be taking advantage of people and, letting the big guys do what they were running, what they're not supposed to be doing. Anyway, I just don't get into it. But yeah, that I had done my bit and I was through with it. I'm done. So yeah, I had to pull out of that. It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all.
Well, you can only, I had a guy told me, Sergeant Major said, you can only beat your head against the wall so many times before you pass out.
That's right.
Once you pass out, when you get up, you got to say one or two things. That didn't hurt. You're going to continue to do it, or you're going to be smart enough to walk away.
Walk away. Sometimes it's just nothing for you to do.
Right.
Like,
you can only push
nothing you can do. You do all you can do, and then you move on.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. You can only push that envelope so far. So I'm going to give you back to Army because our time is short. We really needed more time with you. I mean, just looking at your resume, that could have took a whole hour to read that out by itself.
Well, so you got to realize I'm an old lady.
Oh, you're not old. You wise.
I'm an old lady.
You wise. And we need more wiseness because we hurting. All right.
Wisdom is necessary. Wisdom is necessary.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I thank God for it.
So you have the spirit of help. You just feel like you had to help people achieve their goals. How were you able to motivate yourself towards doing that? Because I say this, some people are intimidated by sharing or helping others because they may be better than them.
I stopped a couple of times, some things that I was doing, and I'm bold. I do things that other people ain't going to do. I remember several years ago, before I had my cardiac bypass surgery. As a matter of fact, 2 months before that, there was something that happened at the Naval Academy, and it was something about this kid being kicked out because he had a sexual relationship with a white girl. This is a brother. And I said, oh, no, this is not right. This is not her. I didn't even know the kid. And I woke up one morning and I decided I was going to do something. I had no idea what. The Spirit just led me to do something. I made my what do you call them, sandwich boards, the front and the back. My son and my husband helped me do it, made the little straps to it. I went over and walked up and down the street in front of Gate 1. And I had my little sayings on there because it was unfair what they were doing. The girl was accepted back into the academy. She graduated that year. The boy was kicked out. He ended up going to Georgia, finishing up down there, but that's another part of the story. But 2 weeks later, I was in the hospital with bypass surgery. And this was in 07. I didn't know I was sick, but I walked up and down that street every day for over a month, protesting. Nobody walked with me. I did it all on my own. And I had no qualms about it. And that's something I'll do. I'll step out. If nobody else do it, doesn't matter. I do it because that's the way my spirit was leading me to do it. And the people come by and blow the horn at me. Police come and tell me I couldn't be here, and they made me move another part. No problem. I moved there too. But the fact remains that I have no qualms of stepping out on my own to do something different. And I'll be all by myself. But I feel that's just my spirit led me to do. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't give it any second, third thoughts. I just do it. So kind of like a bungee jumper, which I'm not going to do. No, I'm not going that far.
Well, we want to thank you for being transparent. Thank you for coming on the show.
I appreciate being here.
We are going to definitely have to slot you for another day. There's so much more that could have been said and shared, but you are definitely a trailblazer. You are legendary.
Thank you.
Thank you. Roger, is there anything else you would like to say to Ms. Carter?
Ms. Carter, thank you so much.
And I thank you guys. I just hope everybody just hold on and don't worry about. Turn the news off. Don't listen to the news. Sometimes you run across it, but don't listen to it because they're brainwashing you. Just know that God has got this. Look at Psalms 91. Just read that thing and know everything is in control.
Yes.
Okay? We're not going to lose out. Ain't no way in the world. You watch and see how the explosion happened. I can give you some scriptures on it, but I ain't even going there. We good. I want you to know we good. God's got this thing. Okay.
All right.
You guys hang in there. Keep doing what you're doing. Be strong. Be vigilant, and keep your integrity.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much.
What else could be said? Everybody out there, next Wednesday, you want to tune in next Wednesday. I may have something to give away. Our event is that Saturday on the 22nd.
Okay.
It's on the 22nd at the Community Life Center, Mount Olive.
Okay, right. I saw that, yeah.
You can purchase
I'll try to be there.
It would be a blessing to have you.
I will try to be there. I most certainly will.
That would be awesome.
Absolutely.
I will try to be there.
Absolutely.
All right. I'll get with my girls and see what we can do.
All right.
That sounds good, Queen.
All right.
Thank you very much. We have another guest in honor of Women's History Month next Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Tune in. You don't want to miss it. I'm not going to share with you who it's going to be. You have to tune in to find out.
Okay. Hey, you guys, don't forget Zena Pierre. Do you remember her?
Yes.
Okay. All right, there.
All right.
Y'all take care and God bless you.
Yeah.
God bless.
If you need me, Miss Carter, don't get in contact with me right away.
Okay. I will do that. Still working on that thing. All right, then.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Night.
Night. Peace.
Peace and love. Grace and peace.
Yes.
And I don't know how to turn this thing off, so you got to do it.